If your father-in-law were to come around your house for the first time, for the very first time that you'd ever met him before, do you think it would be common courtesy to put a balloon up of him in the living room, paint him orange with a giant nappy on? How do you think that relationship would develop?
Does he publicly abuse disabled people?
James, you've got to respect the office.
I'm asking you a question. No, you're talking about my father-in-law. So I'm asking you a question. Does he publicly abuse disabled people?
I don't believe that happened, and that was in the campaign before he became President of the United States.
So either did it not happen, or did it happen in the campaign before he became President? Because you just said both.
From what you're referring to happened during the course of the campaign.
So did this man abuse disabled people? So did this man abuse disabled people before he became my father-in-law?
I've got no idea, but James, answer the question.
Mate, it's your analogy.
You put a balloon up, do you think that's common courtesy?
Well, yes, if he routinely abuses disabled people and grabs women by the vagina, then yes, I would probably seek to...
And how is that helping things in the climate of Brexit?
Well, because if you don't stand up to it, you encourage and
the economy, though, James.
Brendan, I know you thought you had some brilliant points, but every time I deal with one, you try and move on to another one.
What's it going to do for the economy?
What's what going to do for the economy?
Isolating the United States.
Mate, he's just launched a trade war against his closest allies.
Okay, James, all right. You don't seem to have an answer, so I'm quite happy to...
I don't have an answer to what, Brendan?
Well, you're not really answering... I mean,
I've answered all your questions. What would you do if your father-in-law came round and I said, well, well, no, you're talking over me. Do you want me to answer your questions or not, Brendan?
Go on then, go ahead.
Okay, so would I put up a balloon mocking my father-in-law if he was a serial sex pest, if he boasted about grabbing women by the vagina, if he routinely abused and mocked disabled people in public, if he took the mickey out of the families of a dead American or indeed British soldier, if he endorsed a policy and introduced a policy that separated babies from their children and threw them in cages in latter-day concentration camps? I don't think I would put up a balloon, Brendan, because I wouldn't let him into my house, even if however much I loved his daughter, and I'm fairly confident that I couldn't have fallen in love with a woman who was comfortable with that kind of behaviour, even if it was
Trump is guilty of all those things.
Yes, I've seen it all. I've heard the tape of him boasting about being a sex offender. I've seen him mocking disabled people on television, and I've read the order that Jeff Sessions introduced on April the 6th, 2018. And do you know what the really interesting thing is, Brendan?
Go on.
You could see it all as well if you opened your eyes.